Fiji will head up Pool A with USA, Spain and Wales. Look at Pool B, Ireland, Argentina, South Africa. And it's not much better in Pool C, France, Australia, New Zealand, Canada. And then in Pool D, Samoa with the home team, England, Scotland and Japan. Well, there's no time to muck around as well because we start in Pool C where there's going to be plenty of action this morning. Rupert Cox.
Yeah, good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Twickenham Stadium on a beautiful morning here. Australia and New Zealand to kick us off. What a fantastic fixture in all forms of rugby this is. And a little bit of a subplot. Australia beat New Zealand last week in Toulouse to deny them a cup quarter-final for the first time in their history, which is a big, big story down at the France Sevens. So no doubt the All Black Sevens will be wanting to get one back over their trans-Tasman rivals here this morning. Here are the starting lineups. Nick Maloof will captain Australia. Look for Corey Toole, 35 tries this season. If he can get to 40 or 41, he'll be the leading Australian Sevens try scorer in a single season of all time. Sam Dixon, the New Zealand captain, he's the only remaining player of the 2014 New Zealand Sevens side that won this event the last time New Zealand were London Sevens champions. No doubt there'll be plenty of expats, Aussies and Kiwis inside Rugby HQ this morning. They're starting to filter in. We're expecting 50,000 here at Twickenham today. And here they come out onto the home of rugby, Twickenham Stadium. Australia in gold, of course, New Zealand in black. And former New Zealand Sevens captain Carlton Arna joins me this morning. KT, how do you think your countrymen would have dusted themselves down after the disappointment of last week?
Yeah, Marty, good morning, Wagwan fans. Yeah, I'm sure they would have been looking at this clash once it was brought up after Toulouse and really see this as an opportunity. Adam Lelt in charge of this one, but these two teams, man, oh man, just so even at the moment. This Australian team, obviously this year, really have improved to become one of the top teams on the circuit.
Absolutely, it was their biggest win for 5 years against New Zealand last week. Back-to-back wins as well. They've never won 3 straight, the Aussie Sevens against New Zealand, so looking to make a bit of history here. Australia, 2010 winners here in London. They've been to 6 finals. They're a team in form. And we are underway. Ben Dowling with the kickoff. Brady Rush takes the high ball for New Zealand. Here's Joe Webber to Regan Ware and Dylan Collier, these Olympic silver medalists who make up the core, the heart of this New Zealand Sevens team. One of the new boys, Kitiona Vai, who joined the New Zealand Sevens when they rejoined the series in Singapore, and he gets a break straight away, but Josh Turner's on the chase. The hand off the offload inside to Webber. Doesn't reach him, but Collier's there well. McGarvey Black decides on the kick pass. Over to the far side to Regan Ware. He's chopped down. Good opening here for New Zealand. Brady Rush. Dylan Collier. On the cut is Webber, and inside and Joe Webber will get the try scoring started in London 2022.
Yeah, that's a great insertion initially from Kitiona Vai. That's what he brings, that youthful explosiveness that we haven't seen for a little bit. Right from the get-go, a nice break from the young man from zone 22. Goes through. Nick Maloof is very strong. And then Joe Webber just lulls Corey Toole across and just uses that experienced left foot step. We can't leave a hole like that in front of Joe Webber. He'll take it all day.
Yeah, it's his 83rd try for the All Black Sevens, playing his 41st event all time. And the extra couple from McGarvey Black. So New Zealand start with 7 points. Yeah, a real senior member of this team these days, isn't he?
Oh yeah, and he really has taken on that role on his shoulders very, very well. The kickoffs, where Australia dominated last week, Rupert, and I think that's something they would have addressed during the week this week.
Lawson climbs high for Australia. They will get possession. Here's Henry Patterson. The counter up coming in from Webber. Corey Till's been taken out of the action behind the ruck.
Good contest.
Dowling. Out of the Waratahs Academy and the Randwick Club. Back to Lawson. Here's Turner. He has got some stepping ability. And here's Corey Toole with genuine try-scoring ability. Offloading's not bad either. To Patterson. He gets away from Webber. Support coming from Turner inside. But what about the chase back from Brady Rush? Still alive for Australia. This is good stuff from the Wallaby Sevens. As I say that, they drop it, but it goes backwards. It's still alive. Dowling now. Dowling with the show and the go. One more pass might do it, and it will. It is Matt Gonzalez who will run around for Australia. That is a high-quality try to respond from the Aussie Sevens.
Oh, fantastic try. Great continuity. Geez. I think everyone stopped when this ball was dropped by Josh Turner. Here's the nice pass from Toole to release the outside. And this is the back end of it. I'm not seeing that drop, though. Previous to this, just hangs on to it there too, does Gonzalez.
So a try to Matt Gonzalez, formerly of the Greater Sydney Rams, and Dowling from right in front as the extra two. We are level.
Here's this. Oh, that's when he just hangs on to it. Nothing wrong with that, Matt Gonzalez.
A little bit of a juggle, but kept his eye on the prize. 3 minutes to go in the first half. This is Pool C. And Malouf climbed high for Australia.
Off the black hand.
What's he called there? That was hammered back by Malouf. McGarvey's gone through.
Getting themselves offside, perhaps? Was that the call?
No, but it's knocked that off an Australian hand. Let's play on.
Yeah, tough call. He sounds like a judge that did come off a Kiwi hand back to a New Zealand player in the forward direction. That's an offside call. And here's Dowling for Australia. He has that ability just to sort of change gear just before he makes contact with the defensive line. New Zealand get the decision this time.
Yeah, that's 3 counter-rucks already in this first half from New Zealand. So that's obviously something they've highlighted during the week that they didn't do last week, or on day 1 and 2 anyway. They did it on day 3.
Right here, please.
Work from that's something that's worked for them over the period of their where they've been so successful. A lot of teams are doing it too, Rupert. So they've started off this weekend already highlighting they're going to try and smash rucks.
Australia, line is yours, please.
Yeah, risk reward. New Zealand won 5 London Sevens titles. KT, you're part of a few of those back in the day, but they haven't been to the final here for 8 years, so a long time between drinks.
Yeah, and I'm sure they want to get back there for sure. And it's going to be a tough pull to get out of. So this will be a good start.
So line out to Dixon, the only member of that 2014 team that won the gold medal here.
Advantage over.
For New Zealand, and here's Webber, the try scorer. To Regan Ware, who joined the 100 club in Singapore in terms of tries. Rush, Collier. McGarvey Black, little double clutch to his captain. Captain on captain there. Malouf puts him to the deck. Collier, little pick and go, and the short ball to Brady Rush. That is a fine line from Brady Rush, and he will go behind the post for New Zealand, and they retake the lead.
Oh, what I like about that, Rupert, right from the get-go, when they spread it wide to Regan Ware, opens up the holes in the middle. They had a little move in the middle of the field which set up this. Dylan Collier good eyes up, and I've been waiting for this to call a name like Rush scoring a try on Twickenham, and it's the younger one, Brady Rush, stepping up here, running a nice line and gets 5 points.
Yeah, Brady Rush, Northland in the north of New Zealand, 23 years old. His 4th event now.
Yeah, from the Kaio club, very strong club. A lot of good players come out of there. Very tough job, I might add. Played a game of touch and it was full noise.
Starts as touch. 14-7. Deep kick from New Zealand. Gonzalez is back. Here's Patterson. Came up with a lively moment a little earlier with that streak down the near side. Toole to Turner. Turner, born in New Zealand, grew up there. Up against his countrymen here, but look at Corey Toole go. McGarvey Black's got him for wheels, though. Toole, leading try scorer for Australia on the series. Just buys a bit of time. Malouf, long ball to Gonzalez and Patterson now. Dowling, offload back inside to Patterson. And the man from the eastern suburbs of Sydney will put Australia back within 2.
I'll tell you what, that's a nice long-range try again by the Australians, and it was that same guy, Corey Toole, of his ball play, backs himself on the outside. He realises that they're going to cut off his support lanes, but his decision-making to pull out there, to give it to Nick Maloof, who dropped off in the pocket, then they keep their shape, they go wide, they go forward with some great decision-making, and Henry Patterson stays in some good supporting lines to receive this last pass from Ben Dowling. Very, very nice. Real feature of the play this season.
Absolutely. Good try for Patterson. Dowling, who assisted that score, looking to level it up at half-time, just misses. So it's a 2-point ball game. New Zealand with just the edge over Australia.
Have a break, 5 seconds on me. Take your time. Get your breath, Start to get a circle. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, eyes on me. Right, great composure, really good with the ball. Okay, you've got one job. If you lock down the attack seal, okay, they're flooding so many bodies there that we'll find space elsewhere. But you have to win that ball. Okay, so real commitment around bodies on the line. If you need to lock.
Roll up, get a real quick half, get there, and then connect it out to the middle. Go to the edge, then just get your heads up and be ready for that line speed. Okay, don't be scared of the man coming up in the back of the road. Okay? Just trying to keep being on the outside. But moves inside him, talk to him, fucking tell him he goes inside. So he knows that you can try and push him back this way. Because all our numbers on the inside rather than on the side. Let's go.
Hey, it's just about 7 minutes of hard work, okay? On that attack seal, feeding them to the breakdown in our support channels, working real hard, okay? Aussie on 3, 1, 2, 3! Aussie!
Fucking embrace this! Go. Finish our thing, 1, 2, 3, finish!
Twickenham in the sunshine. Coming up, France, bronze medalist at the home event in Toulouse last week up against Canada. And then the series leaders, Argentina against South Africa, who they overtook at that event. And then Ireland against Kenya after that. New Zealand leading Australia 14-12 after the first 7 minutes here in Pool C. New Zealand looking to reverse the result of last week. Well, they failed to make the Cup quarterfinals for the first time in their history. And they've got the 2-point advantage here with 7 to go. They go down the middle to Patterson, who does well for Australia. Here's Corey Toole. So dangerous. Born in Wagga Wagga in the south of New South Wales, but out of the Brumbies Academy in the ACT, but that's gone over the sideline from Patterson.
Yeah, and again, the kickoffs so good from Australia, winning another one. You can hear John Minetti at half-time just speaking about locking off the ruck.
Lads, gap's too big, close it up, please.
Because New Zealand are trying to flood there, so he's saying if you can lock that ruck off, there's numbers.
Short line out to the front from New Zealand. Here's Brady Rush, who scored an excellent runaway in the first half, as did Webber. He changes direction to Kitiona-Vai. Kitiona-Vai also from Northland in New Zealand. Here's Webber. Collier, veteran now, this New Zealand team. He's got the youngster Rush on the cut here. Rush! Offload just goes to ground. Those fine margins. Narohi Black to Collier. Those long levers. Can't get the offload away. Webber. Rush. Captain Dixon to his left. And a big hit coming in from Nick Maloof for Australia. Capitane on Capitane.
Well, that's a great read. He knew he had a play outside him. So he's come in and jammed him straight in the chest, locked up the ball and driven. That's 2 big men. And look at him. Dixon doesn't normally stop like that, but that's perfect technique from Nick Maloof.
Oh, Nick Malouf, what a hit from him.
And number 2, New
Australia.
Zealand.
There's James Chucky Stannard, who holds the record for the most points in a single tournament here in London. He got 67
So, Phil,
when they won it in
New Zealand won, he's left the
2010.
far
Legend
side,
of
he's
Aussie
getting
Sevens, that guy.
okay?
Oh, I love Chucky.
Okay,
He's
time
all
out.
out there. Look at him. He's trying not to look at the telly.
A modest man. Pretty scary when he takes his front teeth out. too.
Yes. It's usually the interview where he had no front.
Bind! Set!
So tight game here in Pool C to get us started here at the London Sevens. 2 points the difference. New Zealand with a narrow advantage. Caleb Tangatau's off the bench. There he is. He's a physical customer. Toole has to work really hard to put him on the floor. Gets his man eventually. Sione Molia now. McGarvey Black stands in the tackle. Leroy Carter, he's got great energy. Well, here's Carter again to Tangatau. Caleb Tangatau, he's got the pace as well, and he will run it in for New Zealand under the attentions of Longbottom, but that's exactly the intervention you want from your impact players.
Yeah, these two young kids, and Caleb Tangitau and Kitio Nevai on the edge, so strong, back in their ability. They bring a lot of enthusiasm. The thing about Caleb Tangitau, his mum, Crystal's come all the way over from New Zealand. She's just sitting down in front of us with Caleb's sister and brother. Absolutely #1 fan, and what a way to watch your son come on the field and twicking him and score a try like that. Well done, Mum. Well done, Caleb, too, by the way.
Yeah, Caleb Tangatau, a bit of a revelation, only joined the setup at the start of this year, 19 years of age. Conversion doesn't make it, but New Zealand with a 7-point advantage now. 3:50 to go.
There's
Crystal.
Mum. There's a sister. Little bro's there somewhere. Oh, how good. No one loves your kid like Mum, I'll tell you that. He's a mummy's boy.
Well, she must be very proud of what he's doing here. Great for her to be able to make the trip, of course. 3 years since we've had the London Sevens. It's marvellous to be back. Masks off, enjoying rugby. Morley. Narohi McGarvey Black decides to kick this time for Tangitau. Looking for it to sit up, it just runs away from him. So on for Australia here, they're 7 points down. We've seen twice in this game already, they can score from long range. But they're in their own 22 at the moment, they're going to have to work out. Dietrich Roach, series leading point scorers out there for Australia. Here's Malouf to Morris Longbottom. So often the man that unlocks the defence for Australia. Drawing a couple of players there. Very well for Dietrich Roach, and Roach has some pace as well. Lays it back for Patterson, who makes sure they win the breakdown. Max Burley's out there. There's the step from Longbottom. The floated ball over the top to Roach. It's a little forward, but we're going to go back for a penalty. So still on for Australia. 2 minutes 30 to go in this Pool C opener. France and Canada to come in this pool as well for both of these sides. Malouf off the left foot, and the captain drifts through for Australia with or without the ball. Nick Malouf, always influential.
Yeah, their third long-range one too. And it's just their patience with ball in the hand. New Zealand just ran out of steam by the end of that movement. This is about the 5th or 6th time they had to cover, cross field to field, side to side. It's just discipline at that last one. A couple of penalties back-to-back allowed Australia to get down the field. And then Nick Malouf, who at the moment is in some fantastic form.
Dietrich Roach, the series leading point scorer, as to his total. That's now 253 for him. And there you go, Australia. High percentage in Toulouse, the most of any team in the opposition 22. You want to take your chances, they do that.
Yeah, 100%. But now they've also been dominating the kickoffs against New Zealand, especially in Toulouse. So this will be an area New Zealand want to get this ball.
Roach, that left foot to the near side to Lawson. It was a late call-up for the Australian Olympic squad in Tokyo last year. Here's Carter for New Zealand, looking to respond. It's 19 each. We're into the final minute now of this London Sevens opener in Pool C. New Zealand with an opportunity on the far side. Rokalasoa, he's got Collier with him, draws the man. Collier, good tackle from Roach, needed to be made. Picks up, goes again, 4 metres out. Australia go in for the steal, but it's penalty New Zealand. They go quickly. Tangata. Molia, long ball over the top to Carter. Carter stop go, and he's in for New Zealand. And New Zealand with 30 seconds to go retake the lead.
Again, a sustained build-up there from this All Black Sevens. Amanaki Nicole just double clutches out there to Carter. Was always going to win that. But a good and patient build-up by New Zealand.
So there's the gong for the end of the first, the full time rather. Conversion doesn't make it, but yeah, the fist pump from Leroy Carter tells the story. New Zealand weathered the storm, the comeback from Australia, and after the disappointments of Toulouse, they open with a win here, 24-19 over the Aussie Sevens.